Welcome to a journey through time. Today, we're diving deep into the ultimate then and now of three legendary classics. Get ready for some serious nostalgia as we reveal the stars from Crocodile Dundee. Are You Being Served? The Cosby Show. From the Australian outback to Grace Brothers and the Huxtable living room, see how your favorite actors have changed right up to 2025. Who are they now? Let's find out. Throughout the 1980s and early 1990s, The Cosby Show broke new ground and won over millions with its heartwarming, hilarious look at the Huxtables, an upper-middle-class black family in Brooklyn. Inspired by Bill Cosby's stand-up routines, which were, in turn, based on his own family life, the NBC series emerged as a cultural touchstone that redefined the sitcom genre. Not only did the show bring laughter and important conversations into living rooms across America, but it also launched the on-screen careers of Felicia Rashad, Lisa Bonet, and Raven Simonet, each of whom have made seismic impacts on culture over the last several decades. Let's take a trip down memory lane and take a look at the Cosby Show cast, then and now. Felicia Rashad as Claire Huxtable. Emmy nominee Felicia Rashad is arguably best known for her role as Claire Huxtable on The Cosby Show, but she's continued to enjoy a successful and multifaceted career since the series ended in 1992. Rashad went on to reunite with Cosby on the actor's CBS sitcom Cosby and his animated Nickelodeon series Little Bill. Other credits include the Creed film series, This Is Us, and The Beekeeper. Rashad, who began her career on the stage, continues to work in theater. She earned Tony Awards for her performances in A Raisin in the Sun, 2004, and Skeleton Crew, 2022. Most recently, she directed Brandon Jacobs Jenkins' Purpose, which premiered during the 2024-2025 Broadway season and won the Tony Award for Best Play. In addition to her acting career, Rashad served as Dean of the Chadwick A. Boseman College of Fine Arts at Howard University from 2021 to 2024. During a 2024 interview with the South Bend Tribune, Rashad reflected on her time on The Cosby Show, calling it the greatest work environment she had experienced at the time. She added that audiences connected with the show because families all over the world saw themselves in it. Lisa Bonet as Denise Huxtable. Lisa Bonet's portrayal of Denise Huxtable earned her widespread acclaim, with the actress receiving an Emmy nomination in 1986. She reprised the role on spin-off A Different World before moving on to projects like Enemy of the State, High Fidelity, The Red Road, and Ray Donovan. While she's taken on fewer roles in recent years, Bonet remains a presence in the entertainment world. Her personal life has often made headlines, including her marriage to Lenny Kravitz, with whom she shares daughter Zoe Kravitz. In 2017, she married actor Jason Momoa. The couple divorced in 2024. Though Bonet hasn't spoken much publicly about her time on The Cosby Show, it's been reported that tension existed between her and Cosby. Malcolm Jamal Warner as Theo Huxtable. Following his breakout role as Theo Huxtable on The Cosby Show, Malcolm Jamal Warner gained further recognition for roles on Malcolm and Eddie, Sons of Anarchy, The People, Simpson, American Crime Story, The Resident. Tragically, Warner died in an accidental drowning on July 20, 2025, at the age of 54, during a family vacation in Limon, Costa Rica. Local authorities told ABC News that the actor was caught in a strong current and his death was ruled as asphyxia due to drowning. In one of his final interviews, Warner reflected on The Cosby Show's complicated legacy, telling people, "Regardless of how some people may feel about the show now, I'm still proud of the legacy and having been a part of such an iconic show that had such a profound impact on, first and foremost, Black culture, but also American culture." Tempest Bledsoe as Vanessa Huxtable. Tempest Bledsoe is best remembered for playing Vanessa Huxtable on The Cosby Show, a role she began as a child. Since the show ended, she's continued working, including hosting her own daytime talk show, The Tempest Bledsoe Show, and appearing on series like The Replacements, Guys with Kids, and most recently, Family Reunion. In 2012, Bledsoe told The Griot that The Cosby Show was the best set in the world. She said, We were brought up on a set that is just incomparable as far as what kind of set you would want kids to be on. We were very protected and sheltered." She continued, "The Cosby Show changed America's opinion on so many different topics and opened so many people's eyes." Since creating and starring as Dr. Cliff Huxtable on The Cosby Show, the once beloved and ubiquitous comedian and actor Bill Cosby has seen his public image and career impacted by numerous allegations of sexual assault and abuse, all of which he has consistently denied. In 2015, Cosby was charged with the assault of Andrea Constand, who had previously worked at Cosby's alma mater, Temple University, as the director of operations for the women's basketball team. In September 2018, Cosby was convicted of aggravated sexual assault and given a sentence of 3 to 10 years in prison. However, in June 2021, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court overturned the conviction, citing violations of his constitutional rights. In 2022, a civil jury found him responsible for sexually assaulting Judy Huth when she was a teenager. As a result of the legal proceedings and public backlash, many of Cosby's awards and honorary degrees were rescinded, and reruns of The Cosby Show were pulled from TV. Keisha Knight Pulliam as Rudy Huxtable. Keisha Knight Pulliam's breakthrough came as Rudy Huxtable on The Cosby Show, a role that earned her an Emmy nomination at just 6 years old. At the time, she was the youngest nominee in history. In the years since, she's continued acting, most notably as Miranda Lucas Payne on Tyler Pay's long-running sitcom House of Payne. She's also appeared on reality series such as The Apprentice and Celebrity Big Brother, among others. In a 2023 interview with People, Knight Pulliam discussed The Cosby Show, emphasizing its cultural value despite the controversy surrounding its star. "You can't take away the work that we all collectively did," she said, adding that The Cosby Show was bigger than one person. She continued, "A lot of actors wait their entire lifetime for an opportunity like that. I'm grateful I have been a part of a piece of work that has really transcended generations and that's still teaching lessons that are relevant today." Sabrina LeBoeuf as Sandra Huxtable Thibodeau. Since playing eldest Huxtable sibling Sandra on The Cosby Show, Sabrina LeBoeuf has largely stepped away from the spotlight. Her most notable credit was voicing a character on Fatherhood, an animated series inspired by one of Cosby's books. Her last on-screen role was in the 2009 film The Stalker Within. Speaking at the 2011 TV Land Awards, LeBoeuf reflected positively on the show's lasting appeal. "People still watch it, they still relate to it, and it's funny," she said. "You turn it on and it's laugh-out-loud funny." Jeffrey Owens as Elvin Thibodeau. Jeffrey Owens made his TV debut as Elvin Thibodeau on The Cosby Show and has since appeared in some of the most popular shows on TV, from Law & Order Special Victims Unit and The Secret Life of the American Teenager to Blue Bloods and The Good Fight. You may also recognize Owens from his multiple hilarious guest spots on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, as well as his roles in films like Somewhere in Queens, Ezra, and Nanas. In 2018, photos of the actor working at Trader Joe's circulated online and sparked a conversation about job shaming. The publicity led to new acting opportunities, including a role on Tyler Perry's The Haves and the Have-Nots. In 2024, though, Owens revealed that he still struggles to make ends meet. Joseph Phillips as Martin Kendall. Joseph C. Phillips, best known to The Cosby Show fans as Lieutenant Martin Kendall, also had a notable run as Justice Ward on General Hospital from 1994 to 1998. His TV work continued with roles on The District, Without a Trace, and 13 Reasons Why. Outside of acting, Phillips is an outspoken conservative commentator and has publicly shared his views on topics such as affirmative action and same-sex marriage. In 2022, he transitioned into academia, joining Clark Atlanta University as a professor in the Theater and Communications Department. After charming audiences as Olivia Kendall on The Cosby Show, Raven-Simonet scored a leading role on ABC's Hangin' with Mr. Cooper. She became a household name with her starring role as Raven Baxter on Disney Channel's That's So Raven and its spin-off Raven's Home. Beyond television, Raven-Simonet has had a successful film career, appearing in Dr. Dolittle, The Princess Diaries 2, and the Cheetah Girls films. She's also released multiple albums, rounding out a nearly 40-year career in entertainment. On a 2021 episode of UN Censored, Raven-Simonet disclosed that she has little to no memory of her time on The Cosby Show due to dissociative disorder. "Honestly, I don't remember. I don't remember a scene," she explained. "I do not remember as soon as the camera starts, something clicks off and I do what I'm trained to do." Erica Alexander as Pam Tucker. Erica Alexander joined The Cosby Show for its last 2 seasons as Pam Tucker, Claire's teenage cousin. From there, she pivoted to playing Max Shaw on the Fox hit series Living Single, a role that earned her 2 NAACP Image Awards. Alexander's long and impressive list of film and TV credits include The Long Walk Home, Deja Vu, Last Man Standing, Get Out, Wu-Tang: An American Saga, Earth Mama, and American Fiction. In a March 2018 interview on The Breakfast Club, Alexander revealed that she auditioned for The Cosby Show multiple times before producers created the role of Pam specifically for her.
Nice to meet you, Simo. Call me Mick. Mick.
Crocodile Dundee wasn't just another hit movie when it hit theaters in 1986. It became a worldwide sensation that made Paul Hogan a legend overnight. But behind the humor, the charm, and that unforgettable, "that's not a knife" moment, the cast's real lives were filled with heartbreak, loss, and struggles far from the spotlight. Some vanished from Hollywood without a trace, while others faced personal battles the world never saw. This is the untold story of what really happened to the stars of Crocodile Dundee. So, grab your seat, hit that like button, and subscribe, because you're about to see a side of Crocodile Dundee you've never known before. Mick Crocodile Dundee, the rugged, fearless bushman with a heart of gold, was brought to life by none other than Australian legend Paul Hogan. With his quick wit and irresistible charm, Hogan didn't just play Dundee. He became him, turning a simple outback story into a worldwide sensation. Born on October 8, 1939, Hogan was 47 when he slipped into the crocodile skin boots that would define his career and forever change his life. But long before Hollywood came calling, he was already a household name in Australia. A natural comedian, a sharp storyteller, and a man who could make anyone laugh. Through sequels and decades of fame, Paul Hogan remained the spirit of the outback, cheeky, warm, and endlessly likable. And now, in 2025, at 85 years old, he stands as a living legend, forever remembered as the man who gave the world its most lovable wild man with a big heart and an even bigger knife. Gus, the friendly, good-natured limo driver who added heart and humor to Crocodile Dundee, was brought to life by the ever-charming Reginald VelJohnson. With his warmth, wit, and effortless comic timing, VelJohnson turned even a small role into something truly memorable. Born on August 16, 1952, in Queens, New York, he was 34 when he appeared in the film, just a few years before skyrocketing to fame as Sergeant Al Powell in the action classic Die Hard. But it was his iconic role as Carl Winslow, the lovable and steady dad in the long-running sitcom Family Matters, that forever cemented his place in pop culture history. Now, in 2025, at 73 years old, Reginald VelJohnson remains a beloved figure of television and film, a symbol of kindness, humor, and heart whose presence still brings smiles and nostalgia to audiences everywhere. Walter Riley, the loyal, kind-hearted station worker and true friend to Mick Dundee, was portrayed by the immensely talented John Mylan. With his trademark warmth, humor, and down-to-earth charm, Mylan turned Walter into one of the film's most beloved and memorable characters. Born on May 1, 1934, in Broken Hill, New South Wales, he was already a household name in Australian entertainment when he joined the Crocodile Dundee cast at age 52. His impressive career spanned film, television, theater, and even voice acting, with standout roles in classics like Walkabout. Each performance a masterclass in authenticity and wit. Tragically, John Mylan's life was cut short on August 10, 1989, when he passed away at just 55, due to complications from cirrhosis. Though his time was brief, his legacy endures. A true Australian icon whose work continues to bring smiles, laughter, and a touch of nostalgia to fans around the world. Sue Charlton, the fearless, adventurous journalist who dared to chase stories halfway across the world, was brilliantly portrayed by Linda Kozlowski. With her radiant charm, intelligence, and undeniable chemistry with Paul Hogan, Kozlowski brought Sue to life in a way audiences would never forget. Born on January 7, 1948, in Fairfield, Connecticut, she was 38 when she stepped into the role that not only defined her career but also earned her a Golden Globe nomination. She went on to reprise her beloved character in the Crocodile Dundee sequels and later appeared in films like Village of the Damned, continuing to showcase her talent and versatility. Off-screen, life imitated art when she married her co-star Paul Hogan in 1990. A real-life love story that captivated fans around the world. Though their marriage ended years later, the bond they shared remains part of Crocodile Dundee's legacy. Today, at 77, Linda Kozlowski lives a more private life, far from the spotlight. Yet her portrayal of Sue Charlton continues to shine as a symbol of courage, independence, and timeless charm. Neville Bell, the wise, gentle bushman whose quiet strength lit up Crocodile Dundee, was brought to life by the extraordinary David Gulpilil. Born on July 1, 1953, in the remote beauty of Arnhem Land, Gulpilil carried with him the spirit and heartbeat of Australia's First Nations people. At just 33 years old, he stepped into the role of Neville, infusing it with authenticity, warmth, and a soulfulness that no one else could have delivered. But Crocodile Dundee was only one chapter in his remarkable story. From the haunting beauty of Walkabout to the emotional power of Rabbit-Proof Fence and the deeply personal Charlie's Country, David Gulpilil became a symbol of cultural pride and artistic brilliance. In 2021, the world said goodbye to this legendary performer after a long battle with lung cancer. He was 68. Though he may have left us, his spirit continues to echo through every role he played. A lasting reminder of a man who gave voice, heart, and soul to his people and his land. Ida, the kind-hearted hotel owner who brought warmth and comfort to Crocodile Dundee, was beautifully portrayed by Maggie Blinko. With her gentle humor and nurturing presence, Blinko gave the film a touch of tenderness that balanced its rugged adventure. Born in 1939, she was 47 when she stepped into the role, effortlessly capturing the spirit of small-town Australia and winning the hearts of audiences everywhere. But Maggie Blinko's talent reached far beyond the Dundee films. She graced Australian television, theatre, and film for decades, leaving behind a trail of heartfelt performances that showcased her depth and versatility. In August 2021, at the age of 82, the curtain fell on a remarkable life. Yet, her warmth still glows on screen, a timeless reminder of the charm and heart that defined the golden age of Australian cinema. Richard Mason, the slick, sharp-tongued editor who brought tension and wit to Crocodile Dundee, was brilliantly portrayed by Mark Blum. With his commanding presence and quick delivery, Blum gave Mason a magnetic edge that audiences couldn't forget. Born on May 14, 1950, in Newark, New Jersey, he was just 36 when he joined the cast, already respected for his powerful performances on both stage and screen. Beyond Crocodile Dundee, Blum shined in Desperately Seeking Susan, Crocodile Dundee 2, and countless theater productions, earning acclaim for his craft and commitment to storytelling. Tragically, in March 2020, the entertainment world lost this gifted actor to complications from COVID-19 at the age of 69. Though gone, Mark Blum's charisma, precision, and artistic depth continue to live on, a testament to a performer who left an indelible mark on both Hollywood and Broadway. Sam Charlton, the composed and polished newspaper editor in Crocodile Dundee, was brought to life by the remarkable Michael Lombard. With his steady demeanor and quiet authority, Lombard gave the character a grounded realism that balanced the film's adventurous spirit. Born on August 8, 1934, In Brooklyn, New York, he was 52 when he stepped into the role. Already a veteran of stage, television, and film, admired for his poise and depth as an actor. Throughout his long career, Lombard appeared in memorable projects like Pet Sematary, Independence Day, and numerous acclaimed TV dramas, where his subtle power and natural presence always stood out. Tragically, in August 2020, Michael Lombard passed away at the age of 86 following a heart attack. Though he's no longer with us, his legacy endures through decades of unforgettable performances. A quiet force in Hollywood who proved that true talent doesn't need to shout to be remembered. The Pimp, a brief yet unforgettable character in Crocodile Dundee, was portrayed by John Snyder, an American actor who brought raw realism and intensity to every moment on screen. Born on September 23, 1952, in Boston, Massachusetts, Snyder was 34 when he stepped into the role, adding a gritty edge and urban tension to the film's unforgettable New York scenes. His talent went far beyond this small part. Snyder built a strong career across film, television, and theater, with standout appearances in cult classics like The Warriors and Southern Comfort, as well as recurring roles in TV favorites such as Law and Order. A gifted stage performer and voice actor, he has continued to showcase his versatility through decades of work. Now, in 2025, at 72 years old, John Snyder remains remembered for his distinctive energy, the kind of actor who could take even the smallest role and make it impossible to forget. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this journey through the stars of Crocodile Dundee, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. So together, we can keep their stories and legacies alive for generations to come. Remember those hilarious faces from Are You Being Served? They made the world laugh, but their real lives were anything but funny. Behind the jokes lay heartbreak, scandals, and tragedies that no sitcom script could ever capture. Today, we uncover what really happened to each of them, and why their endings still shock fans even now. John Inman as Mr. Humphreys. You could hear him before you saw him. The voice, the sparkle, that famous "I'm free," bouncing through the aisles of Grace Brothers. Mr. Humphreys was outrageous, elegant, and impossible to forget. But behind the sequins and smiles, John Inman's life was stitched together with loneliness and the price of being different in a world that didn't always laugh with you. He didn't start in fame, he started in shop windows. Inman once dressed mannequins in a men's store, dreaming of the stage while dusting suits. For years, he lived off cheap tea and sandwiches, touring smoky seaside theaters, often sharing dressing rooms the size of broom closets. Rejections came constantly, too odd, too effeminate, too niche. He nearly gave up acting twice until a small BBC pilot called Are You Being Served? Finally gave him the space to be himself. But success can be cruel. Mr. Humphreys became both a sensation and a target. Activists accused him of reinforcing stereotypes, and producers tried to tame his flamboyance. John loved the joy his character brought, but privately he battled shame, pressure, and self-doubt. He drank heavily to cope with anxiety and loneliness, telling friends that applause was a drug stronger than any whiskey. By the 1990s, health problems and emotional fatigue began to consume him. Still, he kept performing in Grace and Favor, in pantomime, in endless tours of bedside manners and salad days. Even when hepatitis A left him frail and weak, he refused to cancel shows. The man who made millions laugh could barely stand, yet he kept going, saying quietly, "They came to see Mr. Humphreys. I can't let him die before I do." John Inman played Mr. Humphreys in Are You Being Served? From 1972 to 1985, when he was 37 years old. He passed away on March 8, 2007, aged 71, from complications of hepatitis A. His estimated net worth was around $4 million, a small treasure earned from a life that began in shop windows and ended in spotlights. Molly Sugden as Mrs. Slocum. If you've ever laughed at Mrs. Slocum's pastel hair or her scandalous jokes about her cat, you've met one of Britain's sharpest comic creations. She wasn't just funny, she was fearless. She ruled the ladies' department like a queen with curlers and claws. But off camera, Molly Sugden's road to fame was paved with humiliation. She'd been rejected by drama schools for her accent and told she'd never fit television. In her early years, she worked in repertory theater for pennies, performing double shifts and sleeping in cold dressing rooms. While others her age found stability, Molly scraped through every paycheck, praying someone would finally see her worth. Her first steady work came in Hugh and I, and later in The Liverbirds, where her comedic instincts finally caught attention. Yet even after success, she carried old wounds, constantly fearing she'd be forgotten. Between tapings, she chain-smoked to calm her nerves, her laughter masking deep anxiety. Behind the bright wigs, Molly battled emphysema and heart problems, forcing herself through filming even when she could barely breathe. Molly Sugden played Mrs. Slocum in Are You Being Served? From 1972 to 1985, when she was 50 years old. She passed away on July 1, 2009, aged 86, after years of heart and lung illness. Her estimated net worth was around $5 million. Frank Thornton as Captain Peacock. He walked the floor of Grace Brothers like a general in a battlefield of blouses. Proud, proper, and slightly pompous, Captain Peacock's elegance was pure theater. But for Frank Thornton, it was also armor. Long before television fame, Frank fought a real war. As a Royal Air Force officer in World War II, he witnessed horrors that haunted him for life. When peace returned, he buried those memories beneath scripts and stage lights. The stage became therapy but also torment. He worked non-stop in theater troupes, barely earning enough to survive, often walking miles to save bus fare between auditions. When Are You Being Served? Came calling. He was 51 and tired, too experienced to hope, too proud to quit. The show changed his life overnight. Yet success brought its own ghosts. Thornton longed to be taken seriously as a dramatic actor, but comedy trapped him. That quiet frustration followed him for decades. At night, he barely slept. In interviews, he hinted that the BBC didn't trust him. Frank Thornton played Captain Peacock in Are You Being Served? From 1972 to 1985, at 51 years old, and later reprised the role in Grace and Favor from 1992 to 1993. He passed away peacefully on March 16, 2013, aged 92, leaving behind a legacy of precision, poise, and a net worth of about $6 million. Wendy Richard as Miss Brahms. Miss Brahms was sharp, stylish, and no one's fool. A working-class girl with big hair and even bigger dreams. Her Cockney charm gave Grace Brothers its heartbeat. But Wendy Richard carried scars far deeper than her character ever showed. Her childhood was shaped by tragedy. At just 11, she found her father after he'd taken his own life, a trauma that shadowed her forever. She buried her pain in performance, clawing her way through the brutal world of auditions and rejection. Working at Fortnum and Mason to pay for drama school, she was fired for telling a customer that a coat didn't suit her. That honesty, both her greatest strength and her downfall, would follow her all her life. When Are You Being Served? Came along. It gave Wendy her first real home. But fame didn't fix the cracks. By the 1980s, as she transitioned into EastEnders, she battled alcoholism and mood swings. Tabloids painted her as difficult, and directors complained about her outbursts. What they didn't know was that her drinking hid decades of suppressed grief and exhaustion from a career spent proving she was more than just a pretty Cockney voice. Her later years were marked by both triumph and heartbreak. As Pauline Fowler in EastEnders, she became one of Britain's most beloved and most burdened women on screen. Off-screen, cancer returned again and again. When she refused chemotherapy in 2008, tabloids called her reckless. In truth, she was just tired. "I've had enough hospitals," she told a friend. "I want to live my way and die my way." Wendy Richard played Miss Brahms in Are You Being Served? From 1972 to 1985, when she was 29 years old, and later starred in EastEnders for over 2 decades. She passed away on February 26, 2009, aged 65, after a long fight with breast cancer. Her net worth at the time of her death was estimated at $8 million. But her true legacy lives in every woman who's ever faced the world with lipstick, grit, and a laugh through tears. Arthur English as Mr. Harmon. Every store needs a handyman, and Mr. Harmon was Grace Brothers' lovable rogue. Cheeky, warm-hearted, and always ready with a joke that could cut tension like a spanner through butter. But for Arthur English, the laughter often stopped the moment the cameras did. Arthur's rise came late and hard. A former market stall comedian, he hustled through post-war London clubs, sleeping in cheap lodgings and surviving on beer and chips. He'd perform 6 shows a night just to make enough for breakfast. By the time he reached television, he'd already spent decades fighting for the microphone, even when agents told him his act belonged to a dead music hall era. Then came Are You Being Served? And suddenly Arthur English was reborn. His Mr. Harmon, the working-class everyman among upper-class eccentrics, became a fan favorite. Yet success came wrapped in sadness. The death of his wife, Ivy, in 1975 shattered him. He turned to drink, sometimes showing up on set unsteady, but always charming enough to make the crew forgive him. In the late 70s and 80s, Arthur's career mixed triumph and turmoil, Follyfoot, the ghosts of Motley Hall, in sickness and in health. But his private life crumbled. Chronic emphysema stole his breath, forcing him into a care home, where he passed the days with drafts and canaries. Arthur English joined Are You Being Served? In 1976 at 57 years old and stayed until the show's end in 1985. He passed away on April 16, 1995, aged 75, from emphysema. His net worth was about $2 million, earned through a lifetime of making Britain smile. Nicholas Smith as Mr. Rumbold. He wasn't the boss anyone feared, he was the boss everyone pitied. Mr. Rumbold stood as the perfect comic symbol of British bureaucracy. Well-meaning, bewildered, and forever out of his depth. Yet behind that gentle buffoonery, Nicholas Smith was far more serious than his on-screen alter ego. Before Grace Brothers, Smith fought tooth and nail for recognition. He spent the 1960s drifting through one-line roles on Doctor Who, The Avengers, and Z-Cars, constantly begging directors for just a few more words. Money was tight. He sometimes took extra work as an usher or stagehand to keep the rent paid. Each rejection carved deeper into his confidence. His dream had been Shakespeare and musical theater, not punchlines and pratfalls. When Are You Being Served? Arrived, it should have felt like salvation. Instead, it felt like surrender. Smith loved his castmates, but he quietly loathed the idea that audiences knew him only as Jug Ears. He'd hoped for drama, not cheap laughter. As John Inman's fame soared, jealousy crept in. In later years, that bitterness curdled into paranoia. After a minor burglary in the 90s, he surrounded his home with 16 security cameras and refused press interviews. Friends said he feared being forgotten or mocked. Even his health began to slip, his memory fading, his once powerful voice reduced to whispers. His last major film, Wallace and Gromit, The Curse of the Were Rabbit, earned him an Annie Award nomination. Proof that the talent he feared was wasted had never really gone. Nicholas Smith played Mr. Rumbold in Are You Being Served? From 1972 to 1985, when he was 38 years old. He passed away on December 6, 2015, aged 81, after a fall at his home in Sutton, London. His estimated net worth was about $3 million, modest, but enough to mark a career that endured long after the laughter faded. He was the last surviving member of the original cast.